Criminals, commandos. Cops, they serve and protect. Criminals, try to earn their respect. Commandos, strike when opposition is a threat to our seas. Govern the country against foreign enemies. First episode was a cop and the criminal. Now we got commandos like 5-star generals. Come to share their war stories from the streets to the pen, all the way to overseas. Band of brothers on 3 separate paths.
Back in your life, episode number 5, baby. Here we go. All right, we got a good episode. Stay tuned, everybody. We got a good episode. Before we get started, I just want to say, please, if you like it, tell a friend about this show. We're doing a movement. We're going to make this a good place for positivity and things for police officers, reformed criminals, and commandos. So tell a friend about us, man. We're having a blast. I have a great episode for you today. I have Assistant Chief Karey Phillips coming in, and she is the exact embodiment of the show, and I'm excited for you to see what she said. So we're going to skip the story time today. We didn't have any story submissions, so just remember, if you'd like to submit a story, submit it to znation111@gmail.com. If you don't submit the stories, we're not going to do it. I'm just going to talk some poo-poo for a little bit. Other than that, so but we're going to have a little bit of a long episode today. So I want to go ahead and skip to Katya being good. Okay, and today's story is coming out of Lubbock, Texas. It's kind of close to us a little bit, I guess. And what it says here is an off-duty Lubbock Police Department officer rescued an elderly woman from a house fire on Sunday. The department announced today on Facebook and highlighting the officer's actions. Says, "We are very proud to have men and women in our departments like Officer J.R. Wood," read the statement from the department. Even off duty, our officers go above and beyond the call of duty and care deeply for our citizens. So he was off duty. He wasn't even on duty. According to the Lubbock Police Department, on Sunday, May 10th, 2020, Wood was returning home from working security at his church when he observed his neighbor's house on fire with smoke and flames pouring out of the windows and vents. Another neighbor informed Wood that 911 had been called out. Their elderly neighbor was still inside. Without hesitation, Officer Wood immediately ran inside to find her and get her out safely, stated the department. As the Lubbock Fire Department began arriving on scene, Wood escorted the woman out of the burning home, both unharmed. Officer Wood could have stopped there. Instead, he helped the neighbor contact family and then proceeded to help block the road while Lubbock Fire Rescue continued to fight the fire, stated the department. Oh, Officer Wood, we caught you. We caught you being good. All right, there you go. That's your weekly Caught You Being Good, and we got a long interview for you today, and it was great. I hope you all enjoy it. So, without kicking it around anymore, without further ado, welcome Assistant Chief Karey Phillips. You wonder what I did right there?
What was that?
That was have you ever seen that clapper on Hollywood?
Oh.
Yeah, where they go
Take one?
Yeah, and they do the take one. So that's because they record high quality video and high quality audio completely separately, right?
Didn't know that.
So that is recording audio right now. But it's like shitty audio. Our voices will sound like, I don't know, sound like shit. We'll sound like lawn gnomes or some shit on there, but like, it sounds terrible. So I'm recording high quality audio, and then what I do is, I'll sync these two. I'll silence the audio on that, and then I'll throw this audio onto that video. But I have to clap in order to do this. So I sync that clap at the very beginning, and then I cut the clap out to where you can't even see it anymore. 'Cause I'm a boss. You already know that though, huh?
Yes, I do.
It's been a long time since we worked together, huh?
I know. Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Yes.
Was I the funnest guy you ever worked with?
Yes.
Are you lying to me?
No, seriously.
Really?
I didn't like it when you went to Hobart.
Yeah.
I was going, don't do it.
Yeah. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. You were fun too. That's why I was excited about doing this with you. I just saw your. I'm gonna throw a picture up for the fans to see of your new ride.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought you meant of me. I was like,
Pull that closer.
Picture.
Huh?
How about that? Is that
Yeah.
better?
There you go.
Okay.
The picture of your patrol car.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Any pictures of me need to be pre-approved.
No, I'm gonna throw some up.
Filters.
Yeah.
Work.
What do your
Magic.
uniforms look like over there?
Well, we of course have our class. I think I usually wear class B's, but
Yeah.
well, more the polo shirt because it's
Yeah.
so hot.
You're assistant chief now, right?
Yes.
How long you been in?
Well, in 2014, I went to reserve school, so there you go.
6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Good grief.
But I didn't finish cleat till 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 years of full time experience.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you get that assistant chief slot?
I guess process of elimination. We have a high turnover rate.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, like
I'm hanging in there.
yeah. Yeah, so you why do, I mean, I guess all small town departments have a high turnover rate, huh?
I think mostly they do because of how much they pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that's the main reason?
I do.
Or do you, I always thought it had something to do with the hiring process. I always feel like if you go after like for example, like if you go after the guy that like the bigger town departments won't give a shot to, basically, but he's still completely qualified to do the job, then that guy's going to be more loyal to you. Just like kind of Brandon and Hobart and stuff like that. But the guy that you know that may have some qualities that the bigger town department, like they want the guys that are 6 foot tall and bench press 300 pounds and that are tough and mean, and which, okay, that's great. But like if you hire the guys that are less, you know, that most bigger departments, they're gonna show you loyalty.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You're talking about your Johnny Bravos.
Who's that? Johnny
The
Bravo.
big buff
Yeah.
know-it-all.
Yeah, like me.
So
You know. like me.
yeah.
They're like, why is that super hot cop in such a small town? I had to tell so many people, I don't know, you know, just
Me either. I don't know where you came from.
yeah. It's just
We
weird.
were all wondering,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
who's this man?
I don't either. I don't know where I came from either. One day I just showed up and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, I'm just some random hot guy, you know?
Yes.
I don't know what the deal is there. But like, yeah, maybe pay does have something to do with it, but nobody gets into it for the pay.
Well, of course, back where I work around Southwest Oklahoma, there's, you know, bigger towns around us, and they pay way more than what we pay.
Way more?
Way more.
So they get their start with you.
Yeah,
And then they
we're
bounce.
like the place where you get your foot in the door, get you sent to cleat, get you trained, and then somebody buys out their
Yeah, because you can buy out, like,
contract.
so we'll explain that. You go to the police academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to the police academy, and then the department that sent you to the police academy, you have to stay at that department for how long?
I think it's 2 years.
So 2
But
years.
you have to stay in law enforcement for 4 years, or else you're going to pay cleat back.
But
money.
like, for example, if you don't stay at that department for 2 years, then the department that hires you has to pay the department that sent you to the academy the rest of that contract, right? Like however much money they spent sending you to the academy.
Right. And that's usually, you know, your meals, your gas, even your wages
Yeah,
that you made while you were there.
it's a lot.
Because I think the training's actually free. If you think about it, I mean, they're not charging for training.
Yeah,
but you
I don't
have to
think
pay
so.
for everything else.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then, but then you have to pay back the money if you don't, right? Like you have to pay back the money if you don't stay in law enforcement for 4 years. How much is that? Do you know?
I want to say it was somewhere around 7,000.
Good God.
Yeah.
Did they like sue you
But
for it?
that was part of my wages that was earned while I was going, plus gas, plus meals.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know if Cleats changed it, but we got breakfast and lunch, and then dinner was on us.
Oh, really? No, it wasn't. We got supper too.
Yeah, see, no, I didn't.
Did your department pay your dinner?
Yes.
Or did you have to do that?
No, they did.
Really?
We had a company card,
Yeah.
And I had of course, there's a cap on it. They don't want you eating steak and shrimp every night.
Did Kiowa County send you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They sent you to the academy?
Yes.
Was I working there when you were in the academy?
I don't know.
That was a long time ago.
I think I was a reserve because I worked full time as a reserve.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what it's like being a female police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of male police officers, and it is different, isn't it, being a female police officer?
Yes.
It is completely different. Like, that's the one thing, like, I wanted to show the difference between the two and some things that I've noticed, and maybe see if some of these things bother you, or and then bring up some points too, and we can talk about that, and then talk about what you wanted to talk about as well. But I think being a female police officer, can you name some of the differences between like what you see, because you're surrounded by nothing but guys right now? Is there any females working with you at all?
Yes, I have another female officer, and she's a captain.
Oh, really?
She's great.
Really?
And I mean, this is, to me, you don't see very many women law enforcement officers around where we're at. So
no,
for us to have two, I think it's great.
Yeah,
I really do.
You think that helps you have like a buddy and stuff like that? And like have somebody you can talk to about the challenges and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that bothered me whenever we had one female police officer at the larger agency that I worked for, and whenever I would make a traffic stop, nobody would back me up.
Really?
Nobody. But when the female cop, there'd be a line of 6 patrol cars behind her.
Right.
Backing her up. You know what I mean?
I had that too in the beginning, but I thought maybe it was just because I was new, and I actually appreciated them being there, because you first get started, it is kind of nerve-wracking.
Well, it's kind of, the reason why they're there is kind of screwed up on both fronts, because 3 of those 6 cops want to have sex with you, and 3 of those cops think you can't handle it.
I don't think that was the case for me.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I don't know, but what I'm saying is, like, usually 3 of the cops want to have sex with you, and then the other 3 don't think you can handle yourself.
I would probably go more towards the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of screwed up, because do you feel like whenever have you ever got the sense that one of your coworkers or somebody that you worked with, and you don't have to say names or what department you're at, have you ever got the sense that you felt like that they didn't think you could handle yourself out there?
Absolutely. Not so much now where.
Well, you've been in it for 6 years.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but in the beginning, absolutely.
Yeah. How did that?
And
make
just different
you feel?
ones, and those different personalities of the guys. Of course, there were some that, said you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had faith in you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have anybody just come straight up and be like, I don't think you're going to make it, or I don't believe that females have a place in law enforcement?
No.
Never had anybody straight up say it to you?
No. Maybe behind my back, but no, not to my face.
Yeah. Yeah, I just always notice those challenges, and then I notice some females go overboard too, because they've got to go out and prove themselves, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's because the guys are making her feel that way. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Guys are making her feel like she can't handle it and stuff.
Well, in the beginning, I was just after it.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of get your training, and you get turned loose out on your own, and I don't know.
Well, that has nothing to do with being a female, though, because I went crazy too in the beginning.
Yeah. I think that's just a rookie thing. I mean, but the more you do it, the more you learn.
Yeah.
So
I actually look back at the way I was in the beginning of law enforcement, and I feel bad.
Really?
I did. I was doing it for the wrong reason. I almost don't even want to talk about it publicly.
Really?
I feel like a lot of people are doing it for the wrong reasons, in fact.
Well, I do too, yeah.
But
the bad thing is I don't know anyone personally, but just like an overall, just looking at what's going on is like, what is your purpose of being an officer?
Yeah.
To me, if your purpose is not to help people, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Well, I always thought too, and maybe it was just because I was reflecting in on myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was doing interviews or I was sitting in on interviews of new cops being hired,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, why do you want to be a cop?
Exactly.
And they said, well, I want to help people. I thought every single one of them were full of shit.
Really?
Absolutely. It's just
Yeah,
such a
because that is kind of
generic.
the cop out.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
the
generic
easy thing to say, but I mean, you really need those kind of people that mean that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
do.
I just think they're rare, and it's hard. Like, how are you going to find out during an interview process? I think that's kind of what a main issue that we're having right now
Right.
with our police officers is how are you getting to know these people in
How are we screening
Yeah.
them? What do we know
Yeah.
about them?
30 minutes sitting down and talking to somebody and just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're blowing smoke.
Exactly.
You're trained how to do interview processes before you're even there. I don't know about you, but I was trained how to
Right.
do an oral board.
What about the new ones though that don't have that training yet? But
Yeah.
I mean, some people are actually just natural bullshitters.
Yeah, that would
I mean,
probably
I can
be
sit
me.
here and tell you all kinds of stuff wouldn't be true, but I bet I can get you to believe it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cops are
And
the
then
best at it.
maybe that's how they're getting in. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like it's kind of scary thinking that you can't get to know somebody. But
Right.
also, I was going to talk about this. Small town agencies are the world's worst about it. But we need to have a 100-day training program. You know, and when you have a 100-day training program, whenever you find that guy that you may have spent 10 grand on already, and you realize he's not going to make it, you need to cut his ass loose.
Right.
You need to cut his ass loose. And I guarantee you could probably name 5 right now that you have seen in a training program that got released out on into training, and they became full cops by themselves that never should have hit the streets. I bet you could name 5. I can name more than that. Pretty
Maybe.
close.
Maybe
A couple though, huh?
a couple at least. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's scary, man, and it's because these departments don't have any money.
Right.
And the money they do spend, they can't just throw into the wind.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
They can't just throw. Well, and you're an administrator now, so you have some of that. Like you have
Right.
to make some of those decisions
Yeah.
too. So
And we're one short, so I'm new to the administration part, but you know, we did a couple of interviews, and when I talked with it to the chief, it's like, why rush? You know, I don't mind working shift. Of course, you'll hear me complain if you work in my department, like I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this today. But
yeah,
that is what I'm supposed to be doing. I really don't look forward to being administration where I'm just Monday through Friday behind a desk shuffling paperwork. I really like to be out there
yeah,
and do the calls, even though when I get the call, I'm usually going,
yeah.
because I might be doing paperwork right then.
Well,
But
grumbling's part of the deal, right? Though,
is,
like it's
it
just
is.
you don't even mean it.
no,
It's weird.
No.
It's weird. Yeah. Like I'm the same way. I've actually been trying to be careful of what I say, what
Right.
comes out of my mouth, even though I don't mean those grumblings and stuff.
right.
It's usually a sign that you're actually in love with what you're doing.
Yes.
You're just grumbling about it because you don't mean it. Because
Usually when I'm grumbling, I'm probably in the process of writing a report that is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I got to do a lot of thinking and what I'm going to put here and there. And then all of a sudden I get a call that's, you know, the calls you get every day.
Yeah.
Little silly ones.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I can't say any call are silly, but you know what I mean. Nothing where they're needing actual law enforcement help.
Well, I'm going to
We
show
get a lot
you.
of that in especially smaller towns where they'll call 911 for the littlest thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story because I'm out. Like, there's a lot of things that you officers that are still active that come in here that you can't say. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can't say, and I don't
Right.
expect you to. So I'm going to give an example. I'll tell you a story, and I'll give you an example of, like what a small town officer's challenges they have is because, like in big city, you have your detectives over here, and they only work homicides, and then they only work vice, or they only work this, and they only work that. Well, a small town cop like me and you, we do everything. You know, you have to do everything. Well, I remember one time I worked, well, I should say the whole department pretty much worked this case where this little girl had died. Let's just say that this little girl had died. And it was one of the most horrific things that any of us had ever seen. And that is the most horrific thing that I've ever seen. It changed the way that changed my life. Let's put it that way. And it was terrible. And we all worked all day on that. And I remember me and my partner at the time, we went home and it took us, we had to work that. It wasn't just an 8-hour day. We had to work that whole day. And then we went to bed that night, and then we had to come back to work the next day. Nobody gets days off, you have to come back and work your shift. And there was just the news was there, stuff like that. And they were outside wanting to talk to people. And we were just sitting in the police department, and there was a fog in the room, there was like a fog. Everybody was just kind of like, everybody knew not to say much, because what were you going to say? You're going to joke about something.
What can you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember we got a call to this house, and this woman wanted me to get her 25-year-old son out of her house because he played video games too much. The next day.
Right.
I wanted to wring her neck.
That's kind of like what I meant by those calls that you get where you're going,
Yeah. But you got to think. The proper way to handle that, right, is that call's not any less important than what the other one you took the day before.
To that person. Absolutely.
To that person.
And to us, too.
Yeah.
We got to take each one serious no matter what.
Yeah, they need you.
Because it's serious to them, or else they wouldn't have called.
You've got to learn how to deal with that. But see, this is how we kind of find out who good police officers like you are, is because we've got to sit down and have a conversation and see that you're at least working on being okay.
Right.
Because you can't help the things you feel. You're human. You're not going to make the right decisions all the time as a cop.
No.
But you've got to at least realize that people are willing.
Right, exactly, yeah.
To make those decisions and make those sacrifices and stuff. Because like I said, I wanted to wring that lady's neck. I was literally like, I cannot believe you're calling me right now about this. But she had no clue what I'd worked the day before. But in my head, I'm going like, lady, do you know what I've been through? I don't want to be dealing with this right now.
I understand. Especially where I work at, there's one officer on duty for the whole shift. That's it. So if I'm tied up doing something else, whether it's, child sexual assault cases or child abuse cases or domestics, and then I get the call of the neighbor's dog is in my yard. And it's irritating, but at the same time, I have to think, well, it's also irritating to this person that called because I wouldn't want to have to go up and take care of someone else's dog in the yard doing their thing.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is they don't know.
Right. Most of the time, I think the neighbors don't know that their dog is out. But
but what I mean, they don't
just
know what
little things like that will kind of get you going, really, I don't have time for this, but you have to make time.
Yeah. Like, they don't know what you've been through, though. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
They don't know.
That's true.
They don't know. And it's so
they
tough.
They have no idea what goes on up here, right here, too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think we just need to start recognizing willingness to adapt and change and stuff like that.
Yes.
Because law enforcement's broken right now, man. Something's broken. A lot of our world is broken right now.
I think so. It's
police officers, like, it's the only. It's going to be up to us to start weeding these bad guys out.
It is. I mean, I agree. I just, I think it's up to every person to look within their own department and just spread out from there. But I can say that everybody I work with is amazing. We all, there's 5 of us right now, so we all have different personalities that I think is great, that we bring to the table. I'm more the mother of the department, the nurturer, the big-hearted one, the softy.
Yeah.
And, I would rather show up to a call to change somebody's life. My thing is not to take them to jail if I don't have to. If they broke a law, absolutely. But my thing is, can just my caring words or my actions change the situation? That's how I approach it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you have to. I mean, it's all about that one moment that you change somebody's life or something,
But then sometimes you need that one person that's, more strict and, that's it. We're done. When I'm more, okay, I'll sit here all day and talk.
Yeah, I adapted. So I had so many different personalities throughout my years. Like the first two, the next two, the next two, the next two. I had so many different. Like I adapted into those levels until where I was at like almost 10, and I was the old grumpy chief.
Right.
Where I just didn't. I had no tolerance for bullshit anymore. Where the guy I was in the beginning, I had tons of tolerance to where I had none at 10. You know what I mean?
It gets like that sometimes.
Yeah.
In the beginning, for me, I was more, I wouldn't say I was scared. It was just not knowing what to say or what do I do? These, just two people going back and forth, and I'm just like a tennis match. Like, how do I get these people to listen, to stop, to whatever the situation is? Yeah.
Well, see,
try to get their attention. Sometimes you do have to get loud and say, "Hey, that's it."
Yeah.
So
I did get mean sometimes. I could get fired up. I don't even know if you ever seen that, but like.
No.
My way was always calmness, sense, talking sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like talking sense into people, getting them separated, and then you learn how to do it over time. You learn how to who you need to separate when, how fast you need to act, maybe using some sort of aggression or physical control.
Well, my thing is I take a lot of my life lessons with me to every call, and I think most people should do that. I mean, I'm sure everybody's been through something in their life. There's no.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about. So you're my first guest. That's literally all three.
Yes.
That's so cool. I actually forgot about the second one. I forgot that you had a criminal history. I forgot that because I just know you as the cop. And then I got to thinking after I asked you on, I was like, I remember seeing a picture of you in the Navy, right? Was it the Navy?
Yes.
So you were in the Navy. Now you're active law enforcement and you have a criminal history because your story is really inspiring to me.
Thank you.
Because I think you're the only person I know that has a.
I think I'm the only person I know.
Background like that.
Yeah.
And like
I was very lucky.
Let me ask you a question. Where did you even get the nuts to pursue that after you had your background? Like I wouldn't have, I don't know. I feel like I'm such a puss. Like I would have just gave up. Like if I had a criminal background, I was like, I don't belong there. I'd feel like I don't belong there. It shows a lot of perseverance on you to be like, I belong there. I want to be a cop. And then you went out and got it.
Well, thank you. But that's what I always wanted. I mean, I look at all these people who are addicts, like they're people. They had, before they became users, they had lives. Most of them had children and wives and homes and cars, and they lost it all.
So that was your criminal history was addiction?
Yes.
You got arrested for drug use?
Yes.
Okay.
Possession.
See, you look like a baller, like you might have been selling or something. Like you had the big chains on, you beat people up if they didn't pay you your money?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
I can't admit to that even.
No. I can see you elbow dropping some people that didn't pay you your money.
Maybe.
Oh my God, you did. Oh, that is so awesome.
That's the thing is I'm not really ashamed of it. Most people, I think everyone I've worked with at some time, we've had the conversation of my past,
I don't think it's something you should be ashamed of. I think it's awesome.
No, but it's kind of hard, talking to my law enforcement, guys and gals that I've actually done something like that, because most of them haven't ever experienced something like that. Only on the cop side of it, the arrests, things like that. But I've been on that side. It sucked.
Yeah,
it did.
I've used drugs before. I mean, and it is embarrassing having to tell your peers that. So I get it. Like I've never done like a hallucinogen or a lot of others. Like I've never done ecstasy and stuff. I want to try ecstasy.
No.
Someday. I don't.
No.
It's not cool.
Mm-mm.
You're lying. It's awesome.
I wouldn't know. I never done that.
Oh, you never done
but
ecstasy?
I think those are hallucinogens.
Oh, are they? Yeah, I can't do that.
No.
Because cops you can't get hired on it. I never know. I may go back to law. I don't really want to right now, but I mean, I may go back, so I don't want to.
You were great at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You got the heart. I mean,
I felt like I was doing it for all the wrong reasons, though. Like I felt like I was. And I would, before I got back in, I'd have to make sure that, I'd have to make sure I could handle it, first of all, because, like I said, I've trained police officers before. And most of the guys that I've trained are like detectives or they're, they've moved up in the ranks and stuff like that. And they still call me to tell me what they're doing. They're proud. I'm still their trainer at the end of the day. And they call me to tell me they're proud of. And sometimes these guys call me with shit and I got to hang up the phone and like I've cried, cried in the middle of a store. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but there's this switch that maybe it's because I don't have to deal with it, but I don't know. Like this switch flipped and I'm a giant puss now.
No way.
Yeah, I'm a giant puss. Like I can't handle stories and stuff like about sexual assault and things happen to kids and stuff.
Emotional.
Yeah, I used to be able to just check it out and then go get the bad guy, but now I can't.
Right.
I don't know what happened. I can't do it.
I think you could.
I would have to make sure though. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at though right now. I'm happy. Like, you know what I miss the most about being a cop? The
camaraderie.
Yeah.
Your buddies.
I'm getting that now, so I love this, man. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
I could do this all day. And I'm getting to see you guys again. I'm getting to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
I'm getting to see you because I knew you in the beginning and I get to see you grow,
yeah.
And that's cool.
I remember when you was the investigative officer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was still new,
I don't remember ever helping you with anything, but I'm sure I did.
You did.
I loved helping other officers. That's my best thing.
Yeah. My first employer was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole department, not just one. Really,
yeah, Brian.
Really getting. Oh yeah.
Brian, we had on last week. He was one of your boss.
He still gets calls.
Does he?
Fairly often. Hey, what would you do? What do you think?
Really?
But I call different ones too, like depending on what issue I'm having.
Oh,
because each one, we all have our different personalities. I'm like, okay, I need this one's advice because I know it's going to be, he'll be more towards that subject.
Yeah. I had a guy last week, not last week, I had a guy recently call me and ask me the statute number for driving under the influence because that was kind of my
Google.
deal. I was like 4711-902A2. I still remember it. I remember the traffic ones.
I have my pocket books and I just go to the end. Oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Now, some of them I know because they happen more often.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to where, so did you spend some time in jail or did you just get arrested?
Yes, I spent 75 days, I believe, in a county jail.
Good Lord.
Yes.
I did 24 hours when I was 18.
Yes.
And it was the worst 24 hours of my life.
Oh, man. At the time, it felt like the worst day ever, but it was actually the best day of my life because at that point, I had the opportunity to change or keep doing what I'm doing to keep coming back where I was.
Yeah.
And I remember just praying to God, like, if you get me out of here, I swear I will never come back.
Yeah, like...
I think it's funny. A lot of people say, "Oh, they went to jail and they found God." I knew who God was before I even went, but my relationship with Him really did grow closer during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of pain and hurt inside that I had to get rid of.
How old were you?
I was late 30s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I waited until later on in life to really mess up.
Oh,
really mess up.
Me too. You see me. I was drinking and stuff like that. I haven't drank. I don't know if I haven't drank in almost going on 2 years. But I guess it's kind of normal for guys to get their shit together later. But hell, everybody I know, they got their shit together way sooner than I did.
I'm a late bloomer.
Me too.
Late.
But
really
who cares
late.
really? Like,
right.
I would almost guarantee that you're stronger than somebody who hasn't been through what you've been through. More resilient, like, and you know some things. Like, ain't nobody getting shit by you on the streets. I guarantee that.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
But
so,
of course, there may be some that watch this that go, "Yes, I did. I got something past her," and then I'm going to be really mad.
Oh yeah.
So,
I remember.
Who knows?
I remember I got a call from the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics one time. They called me and said, "Hey, dude," I'm like, "What's up?" They're like, "Hey, we found a warning of yours. You pulled this vehicle over, and we just pulled 100 pounds of marijuana out of the trunk." I was like, "Oh, don't tell anybody. don't tell anybody that we suck at this."
Yeah.
But yeah, there's people that get stuff by on us.
Yeah.
But.
Well, my past has paid off some. Worked with another department during a search warrant, just kind of going in, and there was an officer there like, what is this? I looked at it and I go, yeah, that's the, how do you know? And then he looked at me, he's like, never mind.
What was it, meth?
Yeah, it was actually a syringe that had blood in it.
Oh, why?
Well, you couldn't tell. The room we were in was dark. It didn't have like an actual, there was a light bulb there, but the light switch didn't work. So there was a lamp on over there and it looked black. And he was like, maybe that's, black tar heroin. And I looked and I held it over by the lamp so it kind of brightened it up. And I said, no, see, that's blood. I said, there's guys and women that use, that will take out their own blood because water dilutes it more. And then they just...
Oh, dilute the meth inside their own blood because they may not have water readily available or something?
Well, that or I think the water would dilute it more. You could get more of a powerful high off of that.
Off water?
Now, I never done that, so no. I was an IV drug user, but I never used that with blood. So.
How long were you on? Just like a couple years? Like you started late?
And I'll tell you, I think 2 years altogether, give or take, but IV drug use only a couple of months.
Yeah.
That's how fast I went down. Really quick.
Yeah.
I was on like self-destruct mode. I didn't care anymore. I didn't, and people would always say, you have family, you have kids, do it for them. And it was not that I didn't love them. It was because I didn't love myself anymore.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't live up to everyone's expectations of me.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I have this Navy past, and when I got out, I was really sick. I had a bladder disease, which caused me to get on pain medication, and you sit there and look at the clock like, okay, when was the last time I took some? Because I was afraid of the pain coming back. So that's how everything got started, was due to me being ill.
You're like, the majority of people that have done meth started off because of pain pill addiction. And
no, that was just my story. I don't know why everyone else started, but
I know a lot of people that have.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird because, and then the withdrawals from opiates as well, and then so people start using meth because the withdrawals are less bad from meth,
and because it's cheaper. I mean, usually if people are going to abuse pain medication, it's because they have the reaction to it that gives them a high. I know some people can take pain medication that puts them to sleep. Well, I was one of those where it, I got
wired you
more
up a little
hyper.
bit.
Yeah, and I actually felt like I was being productive. I was like, well, now I can wash the kids' clothes, clean their rooms. I felt like I was being a better mom because I was awake. I wasn't in pain.
Yeah.
And I had all this energy. Well, once I started to abuse it, I would go 3 or 4 days without sleep, but I felt like I accomplished a lot.
Yeah, so you're justifying it by
that didn't last long before I was, up for a few days and I was grouchy and I wasn't eating, and then I'd end up in the hospital because I would be so dehydrated, and I'd have to go in and get a bunch of fluids in me, and it was bad. It was really bad.
That happened multiple times where you had to go to the hospital because of that.
Yes, and then I finally found one doctor that thought that, and I was on morphine pills at that time, and so rehab.
Yeah, it's so weird how it's so weird how doctors, like, do you ever look back at it and go, I cannot believe that doctor prescribed that to me. I didn't need that. Do you look back at that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a pain management doctor that, and I don't even know if he's there anymore. This was
Where's it?
in Lawton,
can you tell me the first? Oh, it was in Lawton. Okay.
It was in Lawton.
Okay, I was going to
I'm
say.
not even sure that he's there anymore. I mean, because this was years ago. This was probably 2005, 6.
They're cracking down on that
7.
shit now.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
What they need to crack down on is these laws.
What do you mean?
How they changed everything. Misdemeanors.
Yeah.
What state question was that? Like 780, I think.
Yeah. So what she's talking
You're
about, for
kidding
those
me.
who doesn't know, is In the state of Oklahoma now, every single drug is a misdemeanor.
Yes.
So basically, and I was talking to Brian about this last week, but I'm going to get your point of view on it because that happened after I got out. So I do not know any of the effects that's happened from it because used to you could have just a grain of meth on you and it'd be a felony. But now you can have black tar heroin in your pocket and it's a misdemeanor.
Yes.
Are you just writing people tickets and letting them go for heroin?
Yes.
Really? And then,
It has to be over a certain amount, in order to get like distribution or, enough.
trafficking.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know the trafficking amounts? Brian didn't last week.
No.
No?
I couldn't even.
He said they changed, but he doesn't remember.
It's different ones for different drugs. So no, I don't. It kind of became, I don't know. It's almost hurtful because these people out here who are using are getting slapped with misdemeanors. So what is their consequence? What is hanging over their head to get them to stop? See, like me, thank God it was a felony back then because, I signed for 7 years. Hey, if you don't complete this program, then you're going to do 7 years. And I was like, oh I'm done.
Yeah.
That was part of it. That part, oh yeah.
You didn't have
no
any
sanctions. No.
You haven't used since?
No.
That's
absolutely
awesome.
Not. No.
That was 7 years ago, you said?
8.
8 years ago?
Yep. In May.
That's such an inspiring story, dude. I seriously, I wouldn't have had the nuts to even apply to be a cop. Yeah. After that, I really wouldn't have.
I didn't apply to be a cop. That was the thing. I always loved. I was a security guard, armed security guard before.
Where were you?
Military.
Where were you? Oh,
in the
Navy.
In Lawton.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, did security there. So I've always kind of worked in prison. So I've always been around this area. Anyway, and so. Once I started to love myself, yeah, you can do it. But there was an ad in the paper that was, I think it was Kiowa County looking for a jailer. And I had already seen it and read it. And
was that for Russ Tate or was that for Bill?
That was for Bill.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my dad calls me. He was like, "Hey, did you see that ad in the paper?" And I was like, "Yeah, already put in." He said, "You did?" Yeah. So a little while later, Bill's calling me. He's like, "Hey, come talk to me."
Yeah.
I was like, yes. And so, went and talked to him and told him everything, like kind of everything I've been through. And he said, "I'm going to give you a chance. And if you burn me, I'm done." And I said, "Absolutely. You give me a chance. I won't look back. I'll keep going forward." And so worked there as a jailer for a while and then came reserve. And here we are.
That's such a cool story, man.
Yeah.
He was good about giving people shots like that, man.
Yes.
Giving people their second chance or whatever.
Right.
He was good about that.
I owe him a lot. I really do. And Brian as well. He was there and trained.
Yeah.
Anything I needed, they were always there. Always.
You're the embodiment of this show, man. You are what this show's all about. You know what I mean? And I mean that. I mean that. I like this is what this show's about, man. Like, and we didn't how long were you in the Navy for?
I didn't quite make it to 3 years. So it was I can tell you exactly. April 4, 94 to August 14th, 96.
Did you get injured or something?
No. Pregnant.
Oh, they let you out when you get pregnant?
I got Cameron. Yeah. My daughter Cameron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many daughters do you have?
I was stationed in Sicily and I met her dad over there. So.
Is he Sicilian?
No, he was Navy.
Oh.
No. Anyway.
I was like, let me find out some Sicilian guy comes on the hello, pretty lady.
No.
Let me get on you.
No.
No? Is that how Sicilians talk?
No.
Okay.
Not even close.
Right. Well.
But no, I actually got an early out. And so I was sent home. I actually had Cameron at Altus Air Force Base. So anyway.
Altus, yeah.
Because I was
there?
Technically still in the Navy. I was, I at least got to have her at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's cool, man. You did all three, and then here you are. Yeah. Here you are now. Like,
well, back then I wasn't married, and having to go out for sea duty and stuff. I didn't want to leave my daughter.
Yeah.
So
how long has that other female been in law enforcement now?
That works with me.
Yeah.
She's new.
She's
new. Now she was one of the jailers at the county where we work at, and I remember telling her like, "Man, you need to be a cop." She's like, "Really?" Yeah. So position came open. She wasn't working there anymore. as a jailer, they do something there where they have part-time, and once they run out of hours, they're done. So anyway, she came in and she's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
And that's cool that she has you as a mentor.
She's way more methodical. I'm more,
like,
how do you say, off the top, just.
Yeah, like spur of the moment type, like what, impulsive?
Well, more gut.
Yeah.
My gut will talk to me just, and that's what I go off of.
Yeah.
But, our prior assistant chief is the one that told me that, because I was having a lot of trouble, like, not necessarily trouble with making those phone calls. Hey, what should I do?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what should I do? I call him, call someone else. I call a bunch of people. They know it. All these guys that'll watch this will be like, yep, she's called me.
Mm-hmm.
And, he finally told me, he was like, you already know the answer. Every time you call me and you say, well, should I do this or this? And I feel like it's this. He said, you're already answering the question.
Yeah.
Go with
you're
that
just
gut.
insecure. Yeah. You got to let your insecurity
that confidence
go.
of making the right decision. Because sometimes, you're dealing with people's lives out here. So
here's the deal. Like, is it wrong to call? Because literally this is like these people spend 8 years to become a lawyer and a judge, and they get days and days and years to make these decisions that we have to make, or you have to make,
exactly
in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, because I get calls sometimes where it's just a caller on the phone. Hey, they want to know what the law about such and such is, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Really, there's a bunch of laws out there that I may never know if I don't come across it.
Yeah.
Now I might enforce them, absolutely, and we'll do so.
Well, I saw a Facebook thread last night, and there were people talking about a law in Oklahoma that a lot of people that don't know exist. But I commented on the Facebook post because they said that, check this out, in Oklahoma, adultery is still a crime, and it's a 5-year felony. And they were saying, no, that's an old law. It's not real. And I said, no, it's 100% still real, still active, still a 5-year felony. Problem is you won't ever get a DA to file it.
Right.
DA will never file
so
for
why
adultery.
don't just get rid of it?
Yeah,
or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just more trouble than it's worth. Because I don't remember when the last adultery case was filed. But it's a 5-year felony, like maximum of 5 years in prison.
Could
for
you
adultery.
imagine how many people would be in jail if they actually
the entire fucking state? The entire state.
I hate to say that.
Well,
I know.
Is it
trust
true?
Me, I know
though?
lots of happily married, couples, but
me now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've cheated on almost every girl I've been with up until this one, and I'm
terrible.
Whatever, you cheated too.
You're terrible.
Don't lie. Have you cheated?
Mm-hmm.
I know you have.
Been a long time.
I know you have.
A long time.
Well, you kind of grow up and you learn what you're interested in, what you want, and then it doesn't matter as much anymore. But I was gonna Google when the last case is, but I don't think I can reach up here. I got to figure something else out. But yeah, like it's adultery still real. There's a lot of weird laws still in the book, but yeah, I'm super proud of where you come. So do you feel like more comfortable out there now after 6 years you said?
Yeah.
Do you feel more comfortable out there now?
Absolutely.
You feel like are you less scared and stuff like that?
No. I think the day I stop being scared is the day I need to step out.
I stopped being scared.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I stopped being scared. I did, and it was bad. I remember this was at the county when I was the investigator.
Wow.
I went to a call and cleared a house with my gun in my holster, my hands in my pocket, and I cleared this house, and I was with another cop too, and he had his gun out and stuff. He was doing things the way he was supposed to be doing, and I had cheated death so many times that I just wasn't. I was like, I'm alive, and I'm alive through all these things. So obviously God wants me to be alive. So whatever. And I just got to where I wasn't pulling my gun out. And I remember I got back to the jail. It was probably a week or two later, and this guy, they got this guy out of the jail cell. He had some information for me, and he said, that house that you cleared in blah 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 last week. He said that there's a guy in the rafters pointing a gun at you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more complacent, though, because how many houses do we clear? And
Yeah, 9 out
Matter
of
of
10.
fact, I don't think I've ever cleared a house when there was actually somebody in there. If they were in there, we didn't find them. I don't know. But like you said, you never knew he was in there.
Yeah.
But complacency definitely will get you killed.
What's the one thing? Like? I have a specific few things that scare me the most in law enforcement. What's yours? Can you think of one thing that sticks out that's the scare that you hate doing, that it scares the shit out of you?
Well, I'm trying to be serious, but okay, where I live at, there's a lot of rattlesnakes and bats. Seriously.
You're scared of bats?
Yes. And the other officer I work with can verify that. We were clearing a house that was abandoned. The neighbors were saying that they kept seeing the upstairs window, like curtain changing, like one day it's open, one day it's closed. It's like, okay, let's go clear this house. It's in the daytime.
I wouldn't want to clear. If there's a ghost in there, I don't want to be a part of that.
I'm pretty sure it was in the daytime, but it was dark in the house.
Yeah.
And so got flashlights out, and I stepped into the kitchen part, and I seen something flying. I was like, what is that? And he's like, it's a bat. And I was like, I'm out. See ya. I don't care. At this point, I don't care if someone's in the house.
Yeah.
They're in the house with the bat.
Oh, no.
I'm no longer in. He was like, come on, Carrie, we got to finish,
Did you go through the house, or did you?
Well, yeah, behind him.
Yeah.
At first, I was kind of in the front, like, okay, come on. And then after this, it was like, okay, you go first.
You were going to be the tough one, be like, come on, let's go get it.
Yeah. Until I seen the bat, no longer tough.
Put a 300-pound muscular guy in there, you're fine. You know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
But put a bat in there, you're not cool.
Snake, not going.
Yeah.
And you're talking, you know where I work at, but this is like one of the rattlesnake capitals in the world. Like, we get calls all the time, especially this time of year. There's a snake on our porch, and I'm like, call the fire department.
Do you not have animal control?
We do. When she's working, it's usually, Monday through Friday, maybe 8 to 4.
I really would tell them, it'd be like, hey.
So all this after-hour stuff, I'm like, no. The guys at the fire department are great because they love to go catch rattlesnakes. I mean, they're equipped for that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not equipped with it emotionally.
Well, yeah. Well, and if you're trained, if you're not trained, you could die.
Right.
I
mean, I know if came to the point where, okay, a rattlesnake's actually chasing a person and about to attack this person, yes, of course I would go. But if it's just in the yard, shut the door.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Put 20 rounds in a rattlesnake?
No, but if I had to, yes.
Yeah.
But not in city limits, because then I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, you can't discharge. Yeah.
Not supposed to.
Yeah, there's a city ordinance, huh? There's always city ordinances about not discharging your...
Yeah.
Well, if you're saving someone's life, you can. Let me see your tattoo. That's your thin blue line tattoo?
Yes.
With everything that's...
It's not completely done, but it
looks nice.
I'm going to add the blue to the rose.
Here, show the camera. Look at that. That's pretty.
That? I'm proud of that.
So with everything going on, it doesn't scare you to have be outspoken like that?
No.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
You're probably packing everywhere you go anyway, huh?
Actually, no.
No?
Now, if I go out of town, somewhere far, like having to go to the city yesterday, yes.
Well, that's my thing.
I am not one to carry with me at all times. Yeah. I'm really not.
I wasn't either.
No,
I didn't want to feel like a cop when I was off duty.
Exactly. I get enough being a cop when I'm working.
Yeah.
I just want to be Carey.
It's like watching Law and Order when you're on your time off. I was like, why would I want to watch people solve crimes when that's all I do is solve crimes on my time off?
I get asked that too. Do you ever watch Cops or Live PD?
Fuck no. Why the hell would I? Yeah.
No. To me, a lot of that is staged. I don't know. Maybe it is real. A lot. I don't know.
I don't think Live PD is, right?
Maybe some editing in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of feels phony a little.
Yeah. Did they have to put the cutest cops in the world on there too to make me feel less cute?
I don't watch it. Maybe I've caught it a couple of times, and it's like I'm tired of that.
That makes me so mad that they put because
I would rather watch fictional stuff so I can go off, in my head and just be in another world. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always wanted to be the cute cop, and they put cute cop.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
But all the real world stuff going on, and I really try not to be blind to it. If it is around here, maybe I just don't see it. I don't see it in the community that I live in.
Well, you got to think. So we'll talk about the George Floyd case.
Are you sure?
I know you want to talk about it.
Okay.
We got about 20 minutes we could talk about.
Okay.
So I think it's everywhere. I work for a larger agency and those guys are everywhere, but I think we block it out. Because what the hell are you supposed to do? You're assistant chief. It's your obligation.
Right.
It's your obligation to see it. I'm not saying this is at your department, but at a lot of departments around there.
I think that there's definitely racism everywhere. I just mean that I don't think I have anyone that I work with that would ever do what happened to that man.
Let's just say,
or have those feelings in their heart. But until you have to get to know who you work with. Yeah. If you just show up and work a shift and don't ever speak and you just go home, you're not getting to know the person that you're working with.
Yeah, I think that with that guy's track record, it was pretty obvious that guy had probably shouldn't be in that job anymore. Because
you're talking about a huge city. Like how do those people up there get to know each other? There's so many different numbers and so many precincts and this and that. And by no means am I making any excuse for that. Yeah. But I mean, you got to know who you work with. You
That's
really
the problem.
do. I mean, with us, there's 4 of us that are on shift and we're on separately, so we really don't get to see each other that much. Yeah.
And like I said, I talked about this in my monologue some, or I'm going to talk about it in my monologue some this whole case, but I may be repeating myself some, but I want to have a conversation with Karey about this because I've seen officers that I knew didn't need a badge, but there was not a damn thing I could do about it. And if you were too vocal about it, dude, in the bigger agency,
you'll be the one that's gone.
You're going to be the one that's gone.
And then guess what? Who's out there watching now?
Yeah. They're going to band together and get you. There's no way to fix this, man. Got to burn the son of a bitch down.
I've said this before. I have seen things that go on with my law enforcement friends, family, that were just wrong. And I mean, throwing each other under the bus. I have never actually seen anyone do something to a civilian, that was wrong. Any excessive force. I have not seen it. Doesn't mean it hadn't happened. It just didn't happen where I saw it. But man, sometimes we're terrible to each other. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't want it in my department. If you're going to come in and try to throw other people under the bus so that you can, be promoted or whatever, I don't care for that. Go somewhere else and work.
I think the thin blue line can be broke. I think the thin blue line is important for us to, for us to stick together and be on one solid team all across the world.
Absolutely.
But it can be broken, and it can be broken. But whenever we break it, it's that person that's stepping out of the thin blue line rather than us kicking him out. That's what needs to happen. We've got to view it as that guy stepping out. That guy, by the time that we decide that guy needs to not wear a badge anymore, it's him stepping out on his own because he's not representing what that thin blue line stands for. Yeah. It's not us. We need to stop saying we're betraying people.
For the life of me, I can't. And I've watched the video 3 times. It was.
How'd you watch it 3 times? Jesus.
Well, okay. The first day that it came out, I was actually on a transport, so whenever we would stop or whatever, I'd kind of scroll Facebook, but I didn't get a chance to actually watch it. So that night when I got home, I was like, let me watch this. And within seconds, I'm going, get off his neck.
Yeah, oh my God. That's what I was thinking.
And then it goes on, and it's like, get off his neck. What is going on? And I didn't realize at that time that there were 2 other people holding him down on the backside of that vehicle. All we could see was the officer and Floyd. So, and then the other officer that was just standing there, and I caught myself screaming at him like, what are you doing? Get your buddy, go do a tap out. Hey, let me, take a minute.
Somebody kick him off of him.
Exactly.
Have some fucking.
And it goes on for so long. I'm like, man,
So it did come out that the cops that were rookies.
Really?
The cops that were surrounding him are rookies, and I get I don't think they need to be charged, man, because we've all been rookies before. No, I think Chauvin should get the death penalty. That's my opinion. I think he should get the death penalty. But those guys around there, that Chauvin was the senior officer.
Right.
He was the leader. Those were brand new guys. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And obviously this Chauvin guy, this Derek Chauvin is arrogant, has a big ego on him.
Right.
And they probably felt like something was going to happen to him. Because in Minneapolis, you better believe if you fuck with the wrong guy up there, that like here in these smaller areas and stuff like that, you may just end up without a job, but in Minneapolis, you'd be lucky if you're alive at the end of it, or if you're not in jail because somebody's setting you up.
No.
You can't step out there.
No.
I feel sorry for the guys that were standing there because they felt like they were trapped, and I'm sure they're going to have to live with what they did for the rest of their life.
You know, what I was thinking watching it was, and by no means am I making any excuses for what happened, but I'm wondering if those two guys on the backside helping him restrain could actually see that knee in his neck, because this knee was towards him. This is the one that was on the neck.
Yeah.
So could they actually see what was going? They had to have heard the people saying, you're killing him. Well, you know, so they're. I don't think
racism killed him. I think ego did, because I remember some things that I felt like I used to have a big ego, but luckily I never responded to it.
Right.
I never allowed my ego to become it. But for example, if I went to a call, right, and there were people that were, like, let's say I went to this call, like I was at a call and there was these people that were just talking mad shit to me, right? And I wanted to do something to them because they were talking shit to me. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But then I didn't have anything that I could do with them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I had to leave, and they go, ha ha, pussy ass cop, gotta leave, stuff like that. My pride wanted me to do something there. And there's a lot of cops like Derek Chauvin who have ego.
Who probably would have done something
that would have found something. You see what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
So ego kills a lot of people, and that's what we have to identify in cops is ego. And those guys that cannot control their ego, because everybody has one.
Yeah.
People that cannot control that ego, those guys need to go.
Right.
Because to me, when you first get that badge, it doesn't mean shit. And you got to make it mean something.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean something until the end. It doesn't mean something to the end. You have to make it mean something. In the beginning, your badge. I've told rookies, I've trained that.
And you got to make it mean something to you as a person. I mean, that badge represents a lot of things for me.
Yeah. I told rookies that before they you get new rookies that put on the uniform for the first time and they're coming in, getting in your car. The first thing I tell them, I was like, your badge doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
I'll take it away from you as soon as I put it on you.
I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I just say, like,
I can't imagine myself going there with these guys. I call us family. We have a good family. It's dysfunctional.
Yeah. Oh, and like, I'm
and
saying,
we argue. We and we love each other.
Well, that's great that you have a family like that. And there are departments out there. There's a lot of departments that.
My first department was like that.
I think it speaks a lot about your chief too, and you, of how you're running your department. That you don't allow. It shows that you guys aren't allowing the bullshit in.
Well, we have our. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. We get through it though.
Yeah, well, that's what it's like. It's a family. I love these people that are sitting right in those rooms more than anybody I've ever loved in my entire life.
I can remember being badge 6, 5, 4, and seeing things go on, and nothing like current events, nothing racism or anything like that, but just how people treat each other at work, coworkers, and I felt like, man, I can't say anything. What can I do to fix this situation? Yeah, and then. Before too long, when I was captain and we had an incident going on, and I was telling this one of the dispatchers, I was like, man, I'm sorry, I wish I could help. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, that's my job. I should speak up. And I did, and yeah, I think I helped fix it, but I just didn't realize that, dang, I'm already in that position to step up and say something. But I look back now going, hey, at 5 and 6, I should have spoke up. Yeah. No one should have to wait to be in administration to speak up. If you see something, even if it's against one of your administrators, say something. Well, yeah. Say something. But it is kind of scary because you're like, hard. Who do I say something to? Yeah. You know? But especially like I had a first sergeant once at my bigger department that I worked at, a first sergeant once that would pull people over. Yeah. And he would predominantly of a different skin color. Right. And he'd pull people over, and I kind of started to notice a trend, but it's nothing I could prove. Right.
It's nothing I could prove.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I can't, like, and he's my first sergeant. He's like 4 ranks ahead of me. I'm like patrol 2, and he's 4 ranks ahead of me, and he's pulling people over. And consent to search, for those who don't know, is when a cop asks you to search their car, you have to feel like you're free to go. Yeah. You have to feel like you're free to go. So once a cop asks you for consent to search, you are free to go. Mm-hmm. And once you tell them no, they have to turn around and walk away. That consensual encounter is over. Mm. This cop thought that somebody declining consent to search their car was probable cause to search their car because they're declining consent to search. No. I'm being serious. Yeah. He'd be like, can I search your car? Nope. Get out. Get up. You're got
something in here.
And I was wrong. Backing him up once on a call, and he did that, and I left. Yeah. I left the scene, and it is against policy to leave a guy searching a vehicle. There has to be more than one officer searching a vehicle, and I left him. I cannot stand there and watch that. I cannot stand there and watch people do the wrong thing. That should be
in policy.
And I left.
But it's tough.
Yeah, I left, and I almost got wrote up. And I said, I dare you to write me up. Let's go talk to the chief right now.
Because it was wrong.
Yeah, let's go talk. Let's go talk to the chief, and we'll see if declining consent to search is probable cause of search. Because I bet the chief,
absolutely not.
And how the hell did I know that over him in the first place?
Yeah.
But what am I supposed to do about that?
Maybe some of those younger, or not younger, because you can be old and start this job. But maybe some of the rookies just
Why'd
don't
you point
know.
at me when you said that?
No, I'm just.
I thought you was like old.
I'm starting to talk with my hands, which means I'm getting wound up.
Yeah, I thought you just point at me though.
No, it wasn't pointing. No, the whole thing of being the rookies is like when they're watching a veteran officer do something like that. I've done that. Like, is that okay to do that? You know, like certain things. Like, can you do it that way? I mean, because you only get the basics, and they tell you that at CLEAT. Like, this is just basic. You got to go back to your department to get further training. So.
Well, here's how I taught my.
By the time I finished CLEAT, it was a different administration. I wasn't there very much longer.
Well, the only way to get confident doing your job is by investigating it yourself. Nobody's going to help you be a good cop, and that's what I always told my rookies. I was like, it's not up to me whether you're a good cop, a proficient cop, an intelligent cop. It's not up to me. It's up to you. I can teach you very little in 100 days. I can teach you very little in 100 days, but you're going to be able to teach you over a career. So what my advice to younger cops would be is, like you said, how am I supposed to know what they're doing is right? You go through an incident and you stay quiet. And then you go back to your law book, you go back to your policy and procedure book, and you review it. And then once you found out it was wrong, then you know whether it was wrong or not, and then you can say something the next time something like that happens. So each one of those incidents, you go back and look up, and then if it's wrong, then you'll have the confidence. Then that's how you gain confidence in law enforcement is by going through all these cases and then realizing what's right and wrong, and then eventually 10 years from now you'll know quite a bit about what you're doing, and then you can talk shit to people that aren't doing it right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
I mean, a lot of things I had to get out there and do it myself because there's no manpower. There's no one else there to help you. You just have to lean on your guts and your heart and make those decisions. Yeah. I mean, I think all of us know right from wrong. Yeah. Well, except old boy. Chauvin.
Yeah, Derek Chauvin.
Well, there's been many others. So.
Yeah, and it's really, I don't know. Like I said, back to that situation, it's just. Your job's going to get harder now because of that. Yeah. Your job's going to be harder for the rest of your life, and it's going to and who knows where this is going to go. But I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of videos of where a lot of people are coming together, and there's a lot of cops out there doing really good things right now, hugging people and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I challenge people. I really do at this point. I challenge people to really, what we need to do is we need to throw the bad cops under the bus, and we need to do it quick, and we need to run them over twice. But
absolutely.
What we also need to do is make sure we're not focusing on that as much, but we need to be highlighting the good ones as well. Just like I have the caught being good. Caught you being good.
I love it.
We have that segment every day is because I do want to highlight the good officers, and I think that we all need to be giving pats on the back to the good ones because those guys feel like they're not doing anything.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's always the bad cops getting the spotlight.
Right.
We need to give the good ones
the ones
some,
that's done good things?
Yeah, because there's a lot of them.
I used your little cut you being good the other day for a guy coming in the dollar store, and I was off work, but still, he held the door open for a lady, and this is a friend of mine, so I was like, caught you being good. He was like, what? I didn't do it. I said, no, caught you being good.
Yeah.
So,
I have some people that hate that. They're like, that's real corny, and I'm like, I don't care. I like it.
I like it. It's great.
Yeah, that's my favorite segment.
We need to. I mean, let's pay attention to what's going on that's negative, absolutely, but we do need to show more positive stuff as well.
Yeah, all of it.
I don't want to start talking about positive things when we got so much wrong going on right now.
Yeah,
like what I was saying, let's not lose focus on this.
Yeah,
because all the media started going to the riots and protesting and everything else, and I'm like, dude, stay focused on this. This man to me was murdered. I don't, I know other people have their opinions. He was murdered. 3 times I watched because I wanted to really see, like, I mean, it was very hard to watch, but I'm like, how much longer? And you think about 9 minutes. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 of those was after he was unconscious.
Yeah.
Like after he stopped. What in the world?
When he said, what showed me that it put the stamp that it was his ego that killed him, is where they were sitting there talking shit and he was smiling. He said, "Don't do drugs, kids." It's like what are you talking about, man? Like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, what you did is you're trying to teach people not to do drugs by your statement, right? But you're also, what you just taught everybody is that murder's okay.
Exactly.
Because you murdered someone, I don't know. I'd rather have a drug user in my life than a murderer any day. I don't know about you, but that arrogance and ego, complacency killed that guy.
But that arrogance and ego is going to get him possibly killed as well, or others that are like that.
Yeah, that's why we need to get that out of there.
I see a lot of, well, I can't say female. I don't see a lot of female cops where I'm at, but so whenever I say guys, just you know what I'm saying. I see more ones with ego than heart.
Yeah, yeah.
We need more with heart.
We need to get rid of that. Those guys need to be weeded out immediately because egos are going to get more people killed. Egos are going to get more people killed. That cop, okay, not the guy that has ego that he has to go, because I had an ego too. Everybody does. You see what I'm saying? But the guy that can't control it.
But you didn't walk around cocky with it.
No.
I didn't see that. Maybe. No. If it was somewhere else, but
it's something I battled with. I actually had to make a rule with myself whenever I was in the larger department. I realized that my ego was going to make me make some wrong decisions. Like if some guy that I pulled over for going 5 over, and I would have never gave anyone a ticket for it, but he called me a pig or something like that. So now he was going to get a ticket for going 5 over because he called me a pig. Yeah. That's not okay. No, that's not right.
No.
And so I didn't give him the ticket, but I made a rule that anytime anybody ever pissed me off, they automatically did not get a ticket. Did not get a ticket because I felt like I couldn't make a proper judgment.
Because
I could not make a proper judgment when I was angry. You see what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. If I pulled somebody over for going 30 over and they pissed me off, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I would have gave everybody else that ticket. You see what I'm saying? Everyone else that ticket. So even if the guy was like crying and was like, I'll never do that. I mean, I might have let a guy go for 20 over, for that. But I had a big heart, man. I had a hard time doing bad stuff to people that I thought were going to learn their lesson. You see what I'm saying? But
yeah, that's my thing is, are they going to learn? Are they going to learn something from this citation? Yeah. Were they a real hazard to, the safety of the community? I take a lot of that and attitude too. I will take that into consideration.
Yeah. Well, I
really do.
I just
felt there's some that go, oh my God, I didn't even realize it. And they're believable. I've done it. I've sped through places because I'm, of course I'm watching the road, but I may not seen how much that speed just dropped right through there.
Yeah. Well, I always,
man.
I always felt like I would take it as an opportunity to get somebody to realize that not every cop is an asshole or bad, because most likely the reason why that person's being an asshole to you is because another cop bit him in the ass one time.
Right.
I remember one stop, I got out of the car, I pulled this guy over, his tag was like 6 months expired. Yeah. which would have been an instant ticket for anybody else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
This is this old country boy, a country man, you know, and he jumped out of the car. And that's a big no-no when a cop's pulling you over. Do not jump out of the car. Well, he jumped out of the car and threw his hands up and he started kind of rushing my patrol car. So I got out and I said, get back in your car, you know, and he was yelling like curse words and stuff at me, like, no, fuck you, stupid son of a, I'm not doing shit. And I'm like, hey, dude, get back in your car, man. I'm not going to tell you again, get back in your car. And he decided not to. And so I went towards him. And I could notice he didn't have any weapons on him, so I went towards him and I pinned him up in, you know, where that door meets your frame of your car? I pinned him up in the via there, and I got up in his face and I said, you better get your ass back in the fucking car right now, like, or we're going to have big issues. So he's talking shit, but he's getting back in the car because he realizes that some shit's about to go down if he doesn't.
That are talking shit as they're putting it in reverse.
As they're doing what, talking shit as they're doing what you tell them to, And so he was talking crap.
Like, I'm doing this because I want to, not because you're telling me to.
Yeah. And I went back and I got his license and I went back to my patrol car and I put my ticket book and I slammed my ticket book out. This guy had pissed me off, right? Well, my rule came into my head. I was like, shit, my fucking rule. I hate my rule. God dang it. I was like, I hate it. I would give anybody else this ticket, but he pissed me off and I got my warning book out. I got my warning book out and I went back up there and I gave him a warning. And he thought it was a ticket, so he kept talking shit. And I'm like, sir, will you be quiet for a second? And he's like talking shit, not doing anything I say the whole time. And then his wife finally goes, hey, shut up. Apologize. And this whole time, cop could have took him to jail. Everything else wouldn't listen to me. But his wife said that, and he's like, you know what, sir, I'm so sorry. Like, and I just want to let you know that this is, you know, I apologize for my actions. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like,
it makes you wonder what he's been going through in his life to do all, who knows?
Women are more powerful than police officers, literally.
You know, I have not had hardly anyone just really be one that I can think of, but we won't talk about that. That has really ever been disrespectful. Yeah. Like most people I come in contact with are, I don't know, I had one gentleman that I had pulled over and of course he was going to jail. He had a warrant. And he was so very nice, but I'd heard stories about, because I hadn't really dealt with him that much. So he was kind of a frequent flyer. But like I said, I haven't dealt with him. And when I got him pulled over, it was very nice, and he was too. And then when I told him, I said, well, I'm going to have to take you in because you have a warrant. And he said, well, ma'am, with all respect, I'm just letting you know you may want to call for somebody else because it's going to take more than you.
Oh, shit.
And I said, oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. And so I walked back
just
to the
very
car,
politely told you that.
And I'm calling for assistance, and, you know, he didn't fight.
No?
But no. I don't know. But he told me, he's like, well, little lady, it's going to take more than you. I mean, he was very nice about it, but I was like, okay.
Well, maybe he would have fought you if you didn't know. You see what I'm saying? Like maybe
I
he was
thought maybe me being a woman was, you know, like.
Yeah. That's scary, though,
I think a lot of time, I think a lot of men usually treat me, you know, like they're not going to fight me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it takes a real
I know that there
piece
will
of shit.
be one day that will try it. You know, I keep
you gotta
that
be
in
careful.
mind.
You got to be
absolutely.
careful. Because there are real pieces of shit that don't care if you
Yes,
live or die
yes.
out there, man.
But this is why I say I'm glad I live where I live, and I'm glad I serve where I serve.
Mm-hmm.
I love my community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I think I got a lot of flack when I was younger because, I mean, I'll tell you this, dude. Some young little 21-year-old whippersnapper pulls me over and gives me a ticket. Son of a bitch. He's going to get an earful from me. I'll be like, because I don't feel comfortable with that. Well, I was a 21-year-old cop. And I looked like I was 16 when I was 21. I mean, I can see why people had a hard time getting pulled over by me.
You're still close to 16.
Well, yeah.
The facial hairs makes you look 21.
Yeah.
About 21.
But I think people could stomach getting pulled over by me a little more now than what they used to. Jesus. I mean, I had a hard time, dude. Like, I mean, they're like, who sent fucking Richie Rich over here to pull me over, you know? Like, I mean, people could not stomach it in the beginning. I got bitched out a lot.
Well, I think most of the time, you know, me being the woman, they'll say, thank you, sir. The short hair. I don't know what it is. I get called sir at least 3 to 4 times.
Maybe
a
it's
week.
just habitual.
I'm like, are you serious?
3 to 4 times a week?
Yeah, it's bad.
Maybe it's
Seriously.
maybe it's habitual because they're used to telling police officers sir, because it's ingrained in people that, like, if you say sir and stuff, you might get out of a ticket.
Well,
and stuff.
that not just when I say 3 to 4 times a week, not at work, outside of work and work both.
Yeah.
I can go through a drive-through and they're like, "Thank you, sir," and I'm like, "Really? Okay, those are the no makeup days."
Yeah.
Yeah, but still,
I'd give somebody a ticket for that one, huh? No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't bother you though,
I know
because you definitely look like a woman.
Thanks, but
Yeah.
yeah. Some days I don't.
Really?
Seriously, when there's no makeup, not throw a ball cap on. It's.
Do you wear a cap to work?
I have.
Okay, I gotta ask this question: what's it like being a woman and wearing a bulletproof vest with boobies? What's that like? Does it really?
Yes.
Does it hurt
Yes.
real bad?
Not necessarily hurt at the plates that are in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
do
the
a
trauma
little
plates.
bit more. So yeah, I usually take those out. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't have any in my vest, but we're in the process of getting some new ones. Hopefully, I can get one fitted to me because I'm not sure what size I need.
Do you have a female vest? Do they make those?
I would like to know that. I don't know,
I don't know either.
but if
I
they
don't-
do, that's what I want.
you want one?
Yeah,
Because it
yeah.
sucks.
It does.
Do you
It's
wear your
not-
vest every day?
No,
Why?
I don't.
You better start. Will you? For me?
No, I won't lie to you.
Okay. Well, you got to
My
set
thing
it.
is, I
you
I
have to
have
set
the
it a good
over vest.
example.
I do, and you're right.
Yeah,
That's why I said I'm far from perfect.
I know.
But
I'm
on
just going
those
to cheer your
calls
butt.
that I get where I feel like might need the vest, it's simple. And
God,
it's
I
on.
wish we could pick it like that. Though. We
But I do
can't.
need to pay more attention to the world that I'm actually living in right now.
Right
Like,
now, you need to start wearing your vest, man.
I like to think that I live in Mayberry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, where everything's hunky dory, and it is most of the time.
Well, your town and
You know?
everywhere else, and 90%
but
of
it doesn't mean it can't
yeah,
happen. That
it's
some
going
passer
to.
through won't
Yeah.
come through and do some damage, and that's been on my mind lately.
Start wearing it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to periodically be driving through there, and I'm going to check on you, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to flash you. I'm just going to take my personal car and flash my lights real quick at you, and I'll pull you over and just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay?
I really do, and I know that. I do know that, but
I'm not
it
very tough.
doesn't-
I'm still not
I can sit here and
intimidating.
think of all these, excuses, but I really don't have one that fits me. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've lost some weight, so the one I did
Yeah.
have, it's cinched up as far as in the waist, but then
And
my
it
shoulders
sticks out. Yeah.
Well, then my shoulders stick up like this, and
You
it's
can't
down
strap the straps up here won't
No,
move?
they're on the inside, and I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're fixing to go dead here, so.
Okay.
Yep. We went for 1 hour and 19 minutes.
Wow. Is that a record breaker?
Yeah, that's the longest we
Yeah.
went.
All
Yeah.
right.
I always cut it off about 50 minutes to an hour because I'm afraid the battery's gonna die. And so, but last week on Brian, we went for like an hour. Well, I think we went close to an hour, and I still had 30% left. So, I saw we were having a good conversation, so I wanted to go longer.
Vote for Brian.
You want to say vote for Brian? Okay.
Backing Barnett, 100%.
Back in Barnett. Okay.
Good man.
Yep. I agree with you.
Good
I agree
man.
with you. I think he'll do a good job.
Absolutely. He's
Okay.
done a good job. Been there.
Yeah.
He's done a good job.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
thanks for coming in, and like I said, man, you embody what this show's for. And like I said, guys, if you want to come on the show, email me at znation111@gmail.com. If there's anybody interested, come on, think your story fits what this show's all about. And also, if you want, please subscribe, like the channel, and then tell a friend about it, because we're having loads of fun here.
Yes,
Okay.
it's great.
Tell him that you watch this guy that can cross his legs like a girl. Okay. Love you guys. 10-7 till next week.
Cops, criminals, commandos. Cops, they serve and protect. Criminals, try to earn their respect. Commandos, strike when opposition is a threat to our seas. Govern the country against foreign enemies. First episode was a cop and the criminal. Now we got commandos like 5-star generals. Come to share their war stories from the streets to the pen, all the way to overseas. Band of brothers on 3 separate paths. Bring them all together, now we got a podcast.